Hi guys, how are you? Good to have you here. My name is Aaron, and I share issues to do with family life on this channel: marriage, parenting, homekeeping, homeschooling, and all the spices that come in. So, today I thought that we'd talk about how babies affect our sexual life. We all know that for a thriving marriage, one of the important things is a healthy and good sex life. But from experience, you guys, when the children come, something changes. When there's a newborn, you're awake breastfeeding, you don't sleep enough, you're constantly tired, you're healing from, postpartum issues, and sometimes the sex life definitely gets affected. As a mom of two, I've definitely had my fair share of effects. So I remember for my firstborn, I was just anxious. I had a vaginal birth, and of course, not of course, but I did get some tears and a stitch and all. So the doctor told us not to engage in sexual activity till after 6 weeks, which was a relief. But I remember that entire time. So when the doctor told us that my husband's brain marked 6 weeks, so after the 6 weeks, just know for him, he thought that I was fine. But I think the time building up to that, I was just anxious. I was just wondering, after you've given birth, man, like you see a whole head pass through the canal, and I'm thinking, am I going to go back and be normal? Like, am I going to be wide and, like just whole and all? Because these are real fears. So, yeah, I was anxious. And then, just having a baby, I was just wondering if I would ever enjoy sex or if it would be the same. And yeah, but then I had a husband who had been abstaining for those weeks and could not wait to get it on. So yeah, it was definitely an awkward experience because much as we had all these feelings, we didn't really talk about them openly. So yeah, so today, and then of course, even for my second, there's a story there, but it was much better. So today I just wanted to share with you a few things that I have done for the times I've had babies and children, and I still do because up to now I have children. My last born is about 20 months, 21 actually. So yeah, first of all, I think that it has to be an intentional effort. The only thing that really will help you get back to your awesome sexual life, if it was awesome, or to just improve it to a good place, is to be intentional about it. Everything in marriage takes intentionality, guys. So you have to be intentional about it and see, okay, the baby wakes up at 1 but sleeps from 2 to 4 or whatever thing. Like, be intentional, be radical. Just say, as long as you're healed. Of course, I appreciate that sometimes people are dealing with postpartum depression and all kinds of issues that come with giving birth. But as long as you're in a good mental space and physical space and you're ready to have sex, this is what you have to do. You have to be really, really intentional about it, because as moms, sometimes you get taken up with the new baby. You are adoring how adorable they look, charming, sweet, and yummy, and you forget your husband. Yet you're the only person who he is legally supposed to sleep with. So you have to be intentional to meet your partner's needs, and that intentionality can take you to what I would call radical stages, such as scheduling sex. Guys, for me, I noticed that if I would say, if it happens, it will happen, you'd be there and a week has passed, you're me, and you are entering in week 2, people are getting grumpy and all. So I did a mental scheduling. You can write it down if that is something you are comfortable with, but I did a mental scheduling, and I would say we shouldn't go past 3 days. So my brain got it, if we reached the 3-day mark and nothing had happened, I would initiate. So my timetable was at least 3 times a week. So that's how to schedule it. You can talk about it with your partner and say, you know what will work for us, and then schedule it and say, for us, Monday. I know some people think that scheduling sex is boring and not spontaneous, but my dear, when you have a baby, you need to have routine that is going to work for you, like have a timetable. So yeah, my number one tip would be schedule the sex, like have a mental timetable, written down timetable when you should have it, and what will work for you. Number two is try as much as possible to train your baby, like schedule your baby so that they can have a schedule that they follow and make them sleep early. That is if it's a baby. Now, if your children are a bit old and they're not babies like mine, what I have done is to train them to sleep early. I try, of course, you can't be perfect all the time, but I try as much as I can to make my kids sleep by 8 p.m. Yes, as in by 8 p.m. they should be done with supper and in bed. That's my target always. Sometimes I fall short and it's by 8:30 and all, but I make sure that they're in bed by 8 p.m. What this does for me is when they sleep early, I'm able to have time to myself. I'm able to clean up, change the atmosphere, prepare my mind, so that by the time it comes to go to bed and all, like I've rested, all the day's stress is away, and yeah, I'm ready to have fun and create fires in the bedroom. So yeah, when the kids sleep earlier, you have more time. But if the kids are sleeping as late as you at 11 p.m. because you've been watching TV or which series, man, you're going to be tired. Then you clean up and then you sleep and you won't have time. But when there are like a couple of hours between the kids' bedtime and yours, we even get like some cut time, some space to have quality time with your person. Of course, always effective quality time always makes things easier in the other room, if you know what I mean. So yeah, schedule the sex, make sure the kids go to bed early, and then like in everything in marriage, my tip number 3 would be for you to talk about it with your spouse, especially if you're like having the first baby, or even if it's not your first baby, but when you like, if you have any anxious thoughts, any doubts, any reservations, like I shared with you earlier, my husband thought like by 6 weeks for my first baby, I'll be ready for sex. But I was not. So, and I was a bit hesitant to tell him because I felt like he had waited 6 weeks. It was our longest since marriage. So I was saying, Banang, if I tell him, I may sound watty. So, and because I didn't tell him, he wasn't aware of how I felt, and that's a gap in communication. So what I would advise is talk about it with your spouse. Whatever you're feeling, just share with your spouse. This person is your friend, he'll understand you, and then you'll be able to work out something that will work for you. If you need more help at home, if you need to hire, so that you're not tired and you're able to function better in the other room, please talk about it with your spouse if you need help. I know sometimes ladies deal with postpartum depression. Tell your spouse, like your spouse is not a mind reader. So if you don't tell him that you're dealing with all things of anxiety and exhaustion, he may not know. I know you may think like, sure, we live in the same house. Can't he see that that I'm not fine, that something is going on? I'm telling you, sometimes someone is clueless. They just think you had a bad day. So share your mind and heart with your spouse, and then tell them, someone might think that what was working before, now I'm talking about when you're actually engaging in intercourse, someone may think that what was working, like if the boobs were like your favorite spot to be touched, and then you've had a baby, the boobs are sore, and the person comes and is still touching, they are thinking it's the same thing. So share where your interests and preferences have evolved. Please share, tell your spouse, and they'll do it. Yeah, so communication is key. Another thing is I believe in doing life with others, and so it's my tip number 4 would be for you to ask help from other people. Ask for help in terms of this, like ask them, how did you guys handle Panange, how long did it take you? When you learn from other people's experiences, you're able to avoid the mistakes that they made, but also make better decisions. You don't have to take on all that they tell you, but just pick bits and bits of golden tips that will help you to make your relationship work. So if you're like in a a group of married people, just ask and say, guys, how did you do this? How long did it take you? How are you feeling? What, these people will give you advice and tell you, if you're feeling like this, you can take, and it will make you feel better, or do this. A problem shared is a problem half solved. So yeah, talk about it. I remember I do this a lot with my sisters. Of course, I ask them like, how do you guys do it? I also have a marriage fellowship where we share experiences like this, and for me, that's what has helped me. I feel like the second time I had a baby, it was easier for us to get back to a healthy routine sexually. Guys, you're calling in my video. Can you imagine? Anyway, so yeah, get help from other people. Could be your fellowship, your cell, your friends, your family, whatever it is, just get help. So another tip would be, I think this is tip number 4. I don't know, I lost count, guys, but the number doesn't matter anyway. So another tip that's really worked for me is self-care for the mom and even the guy anyway. So when you have a child, like, your priorities just change. Like, this child becomes your priority because they need you to do literally everything: bathe, feed child, sit, hold, everything. The child needs you. So sometimes it gets overwhelming, and because you want to take care of this child and all the other things that you're juggling, you just forget yourself. Like, your needs stop mattering, you stop taking care of yourself, you don't put in effort in how you look and things like that, and definitely you forget about the man. Like, you just be like, that's an adult, you can take care of themselves. So in my experience, like, when I was intentional about minding how I look, working on my hair, pedicure, and watching my skin, making sure I'm healthy, it positively affected my sexual life. So when you take care of yourself, first of all, you feel more confident. I know that after the baby, really, usually with the body changes, you're not that confident. You still have a stretchy body because your body was stretched beyond limits, and you're just recovering from the effects of childbirth. So body image wise, most women are not like that comfortable, and that can affect your relationship. But when you take care of yourself, there's a way, like, when you see, you've done your hair, you've made up, and for those people who love makeup and all, like, even the way you're looking at yourself, like, just changes, and you're like, oh, she's hot, I'm hot. So when you do that, it improves on your confidence, and definitely the confidence overflows in the bedroom. So yeah, take care of yourself. Tell mommy to invest in you, like, say, I want to do this, I want to go to the spa, I want a massage, whatever it is that works for you, like you like doing. Put in yourself money, go watch a movie, like, take a break, take care of yourself. When you are okay, you then have the energy to cater to your child and your husband. Another tip is, of course, because I'm a Christian, this one has to come in, guys. Pray about it. Like, there's nothing beyond God. God will answer, like, the tiny weeny prayers, the big prayers, the middle prayers, all kinds of prayers. So if you feel like you need some divine help in the bedroom, ask God, pray about it. Just say, God, this thing, you are the one who created it for marriage to enjoy, and really we are not, like, we're stuck at this baby thing and things are not going well, so help me out. I'm telling you, God will give you wisdom on how to navigate the waters, whatever it is, because every situation is different. So pray about it. Ask God not just to give you wisdom, but to guide you on how to thrive in your motherhood journey and your parenting journey. But also remember that you're someone's wife and they need you to sort them in those issues. So yeah, pray to God. Nothing is beyond God, and he says, ask and you shall receive. He also tells us, so many promises where he tells us that he'll give us beyond what we can ask, think, or imagine. So what are you waiting for? Just pray about it. After telling you all these tips, my last thing I'll tell you is, guys, hen again. So after telling you all these things, the last tip, which should probably affect all the others, is give yourself grace. Like, we're not at a timetable. Just because you've had the other one, they had sex after 2 weeks, you're like, banage, I also have to have sex after 2 weeks. Someone is going to take my husband, he's going to cheat, blah 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 blah. No, girl, give yourself grace. Do not feel pressured to do anything that you're not comfortable with. Childbirth is a very divine and amazing experience, but sometimes it takes longer to recover from. So give yourself grace when you're not feeling well, when you're feeling tired. It's okay. Wait. People will not live on sex alone. Eh? For real though, like, give yourself grace if you don't feel, and the grace will come when you're communicating. Like I said, I like to talk about it with your spouse. So tell your spouse, you know what, I know you want, I can see you want, and I feel that you want, but I'm not okay, I'm not in a good space right now. And then share why you're not in a good space. I'm very sure your partner will be more eager to help you get in a good space and do whatever it takes, because they want some, huh? So yeah, that's it for today. If you found this video valuable, consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button below this video. It has a red triangle. Click subscribe and click the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload new videos. And share with your friends, share with moms who you think are struggling in this area, and even those who you don't think are struggling, they may be quite struggling in silence. So share with friends and family, and let's spread the word, because a healthy marriage is gonna have some good sex. Right. Okay guys, thank you, bye.